Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Dai, and today I'm sharing with you my August manga haul. So the stack is a little bit bigger than it's been, but I'm very happy with all of these purchases. And I think we also picked up a few things that we intended to pick up in months prior that just weren't at the store when we went to go and purchase our volumes. And so, yeah, there's a lot to talk about today, so let's get into it. Right off the top here, I have Beyblade X. This is volume 1. This one is by Homura Kawamoto and Hikaru Muno. Art by Posuka Demizu. This one is published by Viz, rated all ages. So I believe this is a spin-off of the toy, top fighting series. My daughter used to watch this one a while back, and she's kind of been out of it for a while, but this one came out in manga form, and so I actually had to convince her to try it because she was like, I don't know. This one says bladers are ready to battle it out. They've set their sights on the top of the X Tower and are prepared to fight their way to victory. With new technology and powerful opponents entering the arena, Beyblades are pushed to their extremes as they race through a new era. Amateur blader Robin Kazami is left without a team after a crushing defeat. Things start to look up when he runs into former Beyblade champion Jackson Cross, who is on his own journey to fight back to the top of the X Tower under the alias Blader X. This unlikely duo teams up and vows to rise to the top of Beyblade. So, yeah, daughter was really into this one when she was younger, or Beyblade. She's watched a few seasons. I think I've only watched the, first season or so I'm only familiar with those characters. But, yeah, I'm interested to see what daughter thinks of this. I will probably also read it later. But, yes, that is our first pickup. I also picked up Sacrifice of My Manly Soul, Volume 1. This has story and art by Sotsu Hasebe, published by 7 Seas, rated older teen. So this is all girls club? 16-year-old Toru Jun's world is flipped upside down when he's forced to enroll in an all-girls school to pay off his family's staggering 4 billion yen debt. The twist? The student council is secretly made up of boys in the same predicament. Exposing their true identities would mean social annihilation, but sticking around might be even worse. So I thought that sounded fun, and so I decided to go ahead and pick that one up and try it out. I picked up volume 18 of Mission Yozakura Family. This one has story and art by Hitsuji Gondaira, published by Viz, rated teen. So this one is about a guy who has lost his family due to an accident, and he ends up joining his best friend's family. What he doesn't know is that his best friend's family is a family full of spies. So he needs to learn how to become a spy in order to not only protect himself, but protect his best friend and her family. So we follow him getting trained in the spy techniques and things like that. And this family of his best friend, she has a lot of siblings. So you see the siblings all pitch in with their specialities to try to teach Tayo, who's our main male character in this series, all of their niches and things. It's really interesting. I find it to be a very entertaining series as well. There's lots of comedic events as well to break up the spy missions and things. But I'm really enjoying the series, and so I'm continuing to collect this one physically. I have volume 1 of Tales of the Tendo Family by Ken Saito. This one is published by One Piece Books. I don't think there is an age rating on this one, but One Piece Books is one of those companies that I don't really stay on top of. So while we were browsing the shelves after the Monochrome Manga Club meeting in August, I saw this one on the shelf and it caught my eye. So this one says, Masato, the son of the Tendo family, is meant to marry Hojo-ran, the daughter of a baron. There's just one problem. She's a fake. The real Ran has fled after hearing that few make it out of the Tendo family alive. In her place is a young woman who says she will die if it means saving someone else's life. So I thought that sounded interesting. The cover on this is gorgeous, and so I definitely wanted to check that one out. I picked up volumes 4 and 5 of My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999. These are by Mashiro, published by Inklore Books, and these are rated teen, ages 14 and up. So this series follows a girl who got into an MMORPG type game with her boyfriend, and then her boyfriend breaks up with her, so she ends up going to like an in real life event for this game and ends up meeting one of the like most famous players, and he happens to be in her guild in the game. And so it kind of follows them kind of having a meeting that doesn't end up quite on the right foot, and then getting to know each other along the way, and other people from their guild as well, all in the background of this game. I really enjoyed the anime. I watched it, and that's kind of why I got into collecting the manga. And so I'm looking forward to seeing like how the manga like follows the anime, if it does, if it goes past the anime. I'm really interested to know. But I really enjoyed the anime, and so I'm collecting the volumes physically. And so I'm looking forward to getting into these sometime. I also picked up another couple. These are Watch Dogs Tokyo, volumes 2 and 3. So this one is by Seiichi Shirato and Shuhei Kamo, published by Tokyo Pop, rated teen. So we ended up reading volume 1 for the Monaco Manga Club, and I really enjoyed it. I believe these are based on a video game franchise, but it's kind of like a kind of spy type story where you got a guy who's in like law enforcement, but secretly he's also part of like a hacker type agency. So I was really interested in this series after we read the first volume. I'm not sure how long this series is, but volume 2 seems to be about the size of volume 1, and then volume 3 is like super thick. So I'm not sure. It doesn't say that this is the final volume on the back of volume 3, but I'm interested to see where this story goes, and I'm looking forward to continuing with that one. I got volume 1 of Killed Again, Mr. Detective. This one is by Inaba. Original stories by Tenny Woha and character design by Riichu. This one is published by Yam Press, rated teen. So this one says, Sakuya Otsuki is the son of a legendary detective striving to follow in his father's footsteps with the help of his assistant, Lilithea. This isn't your average high school sleuth, though, because he comes back to life every time he's killed. Being a little too familiar with death and always awakening to Lilithea by his side, Sakuya is happy to take on low-risk cases. Surely investigating a movie producer's affair on a luxury cruise ship won't pose a real threat. But when the duo ends up entangled in a larger and bloodier situation, Sakuya will have to get to the bottom of the mystery and die trying. So I thought that sounded interesting. I really enjoy detective type stories and mysteries, and so yeah, definitely wanted to check that one out. I picked up volume 1 of Futari Switch. This one is by Akira Hiramoto, published by Yam Press, rated mature for language, nudity, sexual content, and violence. This one says high school classmates Shinichi and Ichigo have a lot in common. They're next door neighbors, childhood friends, and they both have one-sided crushes. But when a summer day leads to a perilous mishap involving a particular bitter melon, the two discover that they've swapped bodies. Now they have a chance to get closer to the objects of their affections, but can they handle the undiscovered territory between their legs? I've read a couple of different like body swap type series. There was one in particular that I read a really long time ago, Your and My Secret. I read that so many years ago, but I was only able to read up to like the 3 before the end because Tokyo Pop didn't translate the last 2 volumes. And so I've kind of been looking for a story about body swapping that kind of gave me the same feelings, because like I said, I've read a couple And that's the one that I've enjoyed the most. And haven't been able to find one that I've enjoyed as much as that one since. So we'll see how I feel about this one. And so, yeah, wanted to check that one out. Picked up volume 2 of Senpai is an Otokonoko, My Cross-Dressing Classmate. This one is by Palm, rated teen, published by Kodansha. So we read volume 1 for the Monaco Manga Club in August, and I really enjoyed it. So we picked this one up while we were at the Barnes & Noble. So this one follows a girl who ends up confessing to an upperclassman, thinking the upperclassman was also a girl, but it turns out that it was a guy who cross-dresses regularly to school. And so we kind of follow this girl and cross-dressing senpai getting to know each other, and then the senpai's best friend as like this party of 3, just getting to know each other better and finding out about each other and kind of why the senpai cross-dresses and things like that. And so I really enjoyed it, so much so that I immediately picked up the second volume, and so I'm looking forward to continuing with this series. Picked up volume 4 of Yorha Pearl Harbor Descent Record. This is a Nier Automata story. Original concept by Yoko Taro and art by Megumi Soramichi. This one is published by Square Enix Manga, rated older teen. So this follows the franchise of Nier Automata, where we have a fleet of female fighting robots, and this kind of is like the prequel story of the video game, I believe. And so daughter has played the Nier video game, and she really enjoys it. So this is more of a daughter pickup. Daughter and I did read the first volume of this one, and I wasn't really impressed, but I don't think I understand the world as much as she does. And so I really need to read more of this series, I think, in order to get a better feel. I've watched her play the video game, but just like in passing. I haven't really like sat down and immersed myself. So yeah, daughter definitely wanted this one, and so we went ahead and picked that one up. I have the first light novel edition of The Apothecary Diaries, story by Natsu Hyuga and art by Toko Shino. This one is published by Square Enix Books, and there is no age rating on this. We read the first volume of the manga for the Monaco Manga Club, and I enjoyed it, but I haven't picked the manga back up. And so since I've been kind of reading light novels and enjoying them more than the manga versions that I have read the light novels for, I decided to go ahead and try the light novel version of this story and see if it enticed me to continue with this series a bit faster than the manga did. I enjoyed the manga. I like the art style. But I do find that with light novels, I get a bigger, kind of broader picture. They're able to include more detail, and so that enhances the storytelling for me. And so I definitely wanted to try that out. So I decided to go ahead and pick up the first volume of that one. I didn't even tell you what that's about. This is about a female kind of poison expert in historical times, and she kind of solves mysteries as well along the way. And so I'm looking forward to re-experiencing that story. Also got the first volume of Villains Are Destined to Die in the light novel edition. This one is by Guan Gyo-ul, published by Ise Press, rated ages 13 and up, which is teen. So this one follows a woman who is really a fan of this particular otome game, and then one day she ends up getting transported into said otome game as the villainess. And as she's played this game, she kind of knows how this game is going to go. And so with her like real life experience of not having a great family background also kind of helps her get through this game. And so I really have been enjoying the manhwa, but I wanted to try the light novel because I thought, you know, maybe there's more detail in here. And so yes, really looking forward to trying this out, and we've got a nice picture in the front there. Those light novels are pretty thick. I'm actually quite surprised because the other light novels I've read have not been that thick. So I've got quite a lot of reading in store for me. I've also picked up the first light novel edition of The Summer Hikaru Died. This one is by Mio Nukaga, an original story and illustration by Moku Mokuren. This one's published by Yen On, ages 13 and up, which is teen. So this one is about a guy who's in high school and his best friend doesn't seem to be the same. He had gone up the mountain one day, and when he came back, he was different. And so we kind of follow the journey of these two characters, and I enjoyed it. There's some like supernatural type elements, at least in the first volume of the manga, and so I'm looking forward to exploring this series more. I definitely wanted to try the light novel edition, but I'm kind of surprised that it's so short. I mean, considering, you know, the light novels that I've just told you about, this one is definitely much shorter. So I'm curious to see how this is going to go, as far as where it's going to go, if it's going to encompass just the first volume of the manga or how that's going to go. So definitely wanted to check that out and see how I felt. I'm not sure like how I want to continue that story. If I want to continue it with the manga or continue it with the light novel or just continue it with the anime, I'm not quite sure. That's one of those ones where I need like more experience with it, I think. So yeah. Then I have My Husband and I Sleep in a Coffin. This is by Wu Shui Bu Du. I'm not quite sure. My pronunciation with Chinese, I don't know how to pronounce Chinese at all. But this says it's for mature readers. It's a danmei. It's published by Seven Seas, and so rated mature. So this says a century-spanning BL fantasy romp, Coffin for Two. Wang Zhao Mie, a reclusive gay virgin, wakes up to a shocking reality. He now inhabits the body of a 1,000-year-old corpse dressed in elaborate wedding attire. Even more bizarre, he finds himself sharing a coffin with Wen Fengjin, an immortal warrior who has spent centuries waiting for the return of his lost lover. Now trapped in a lavish mausoleum, undead and constantly ravenous, Wang Xiaomie's only source of sustenance is a magical peach blossom tree that keeps his heart beating. But survival isn't the only challenge. He must also avoid grave robbers and, more troubling still, conceal his growing attraction to the hot yet utterly unhinged immortal who will stop at nothing, even murder, to protect his beloved. So I thought that sounded interesting, and I really do like this cover, and so definitely wanted to check that one out. And then the last thing I have here is volumes 23 and 24 of Tokyo Revengers by Ken Wakui. This one's published by Seven Seas, rated older teen. So we are reading this as a series read with the Monochrome Manga Club. Really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to continuing it. This is actually the volume that we are reading in the month of September. So this one follows a guy named Takamichi, and in his mid-20s is when we meet him, and he's watching the news, and he comes across a news broadcast that says that his girlfriend from middle school had been murdered by a gang that he had known way back when. After a twist of events, he finds that he is able to travel back into time to that time when he was in middle school, and decides that he's going to try to change the events in the past to make it so that his girlfriend isn't killed in the future. It's been a really interesting ride. I'm enjoying this a lot more than I thought I was going to. This was definitely not one of those series that was even on my radar, but I am really invested in these characters, and I'm always looking forward every month to chatting with our Monochrome Manga Club members about this one, because there's just so many things that happen, and I think the only thing that can be really guaranteed is that there's going to be character death and a lot of fighting. And so, yeah, really, really looking forward to reading this one. I'm probably actually going to read it tonight and then discuss it with our members at our manga club meeting this week. So really, really looking forward to that. And that is everything that I picked up in the month of August. Really looking forward to everything that I have in the stack. Lots of light novels too this time around, but there are light novels to series that I already have experience with. So I'm looking forward to seeing how I feel about the light novel versus the manga or the manhwa, and see if I decide to go the light novel road or if I decide to stay with the manga or the manhwa. And so, yeah, let me know down in the comments below if you've picked any of these up, or if you've tried any of the light novels versus the manhwa or manga that I talked about, and which do you prefer, light novel or manga or manhwa? And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me some kind of celebration emoji down in the comments below. It is my birthday month as well as my 10-year YouTube anniversary month, so it would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out, and that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy, and until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.